Hello, today let us start with introduction to brain. So directly we are not going into the brain. So first let us start with the coverings, ventricles and what do you mean by cerebrospinal fluids. Okay. So membranes, it is the coverings of your brain. It is otherwise called as meninges. Okay. So the brain and spinal cord are completely surrounded by three membranes. It is called as meninges. So the lying in between your skull and the brain, and between the vertebrae and the spinal cord. Okay, so it will cover the entire brain and spinal cord. So this meninges will be lying in your head. It will be lie between the skull and brain, and in your spinal cord it will lie between the vertebral column and spinal cord. Okay, so the meninges or the membrane name is dura mater, arachnoid matter and pia mater. Okay, so from outermost layer is dura mater, the middle layer is arachnoid matter, and innermost is pia mater. So the dura mater and arachnoid matter are separated by a potential space. Okay, it is called as subdural space, and the arachnoid and pia matter are separated by a subarachnoid space. It contains cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, so dura mater. So the cerebral dura mater consists of two layers of dense fibrous tissue. So there is only a potential space between the two layers, except where the inner line sweeps the inwards between the cerebral hemispheres to form falx cerebri. Okay, between the cerebellar hemispheres to form falx cerebelli, and between the cerebrum and cerebellum to form tentorium cerebelli. Okay, so these are just a inward folding of the membrane. So we are going to see this what do you mean by falx cerebri, falx cerebelli and tentorium cerebellum in the later topics. Okay, so spinal dura mater forms a loose sheath around the spinal cord, extending from the foramen magnum, that is the opening of your skull, to the second sacral vertebra. Okay, so after that it encloses a phylum terminale and fuses with the periosteum of the coccyx bone. Okay, so arachnoid matter, this is delicate serous membrane lying between the dura mater and pia mater. So it is separated by from the dura mater by a subdural space, and from the pia mater by a subarachnoid space. Okay, it will contain, this subarachnoid space will contain the cerebrospinal fluid. So arachnoid matter passes over the convulsions. There are a lot of folds in your brain, so this arachnoid membrane will also enter inside that fold and it will come out. Okay, and accompanies the inner layer of dura mater in the formation of falx cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli and falx cerebelli. Okay, so it continues upward downwards to envelop the spinal cord and ends in the merging with the dura mater at the level of second sacral vertebrae. So next is the pia mater. So this is a fine connective tissue containing many minute blood vessels. So it adheres to the brain completely, covering the convulsion and dipping into the each fissures, that is splits. So it is continuous downward surrounding the spinal cord. So beyond the end of the cord, it continues as a phylum terminale. So phylum terminale, it is nothing but it is a tail like structure. Okay, that is you can watch your horse tail. So after the tail there will be hair like structure. So similarly, so your spinal cord will also have some hair like structures, which is called as phylum terminale. Okay, so this is the thing, the membranes, and you can see the tentorium cerebelli, falx cerebri and falx cerebelli. Okay, so these topics we can see in the later part of your topics. So next is the ventricles of the brain. So within the brain there are four irregular shaped cavities. It is called as ventricles, so which contain cerebrospinal fluid. So what are all the four ventricles means? Right and left lateral ventricles. There will be right side and left side, and third ventricle, fourth ventricle. So coming to lateral ventricles, so these are the cavities lie within the cerebral hemispheres, one on each side of the median plane, just below the corpus callosum. Okay, so corpus callosum, it is the structure present in your brain. So they are separated from each other by the thin superimposed on its surface membrane, the septum lucidum, and are lined with the ciliated epithelium. So they communicate with the third ventricle by interventricular foramen. So foramen means opening, so there will be interventricular foramen will be there. So next is the third ventricle. The third ventricle is the cavity situated below the lateral ventricles between the two parts of the thalamus. So it communicates with the fourth ventricle by a canal. It is called as cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of the midbrain. So next is the fourth ventricle. So fourth ventricle is the diamond shaped cavity situated below and behind the third ventricle in between cerebellum and pons. So it is continuous below the second central canal of the spinal cord and communicates with the subarachnoid space by foramina in its roof. So cerebrospinal fluid enters the subarachnoid space through these openings and through the open distal end of the central canal of the spinal cord. Okay, so here only the cerebrospinal fluid will enter inside the subarachnoid space and also the rest of the ventricles. Okay, so this is the diagram of showing different ventricles. Okay, so next is the cerebrospinal fluid. So CSF, it is otherwise called as CSF. So CSF, it is the fluid secreted into the each ventricle by the brain by choroid plexus. Okay, so choroid plexus is one of the structure present in your brain, so which will secrete CSF into the ventricles. So these are vascular areas where there are proliferation of blood vessels lining of the ventricle walls. So from the roof of the fourth ventricle, CSF flows through the foramina into the subarachnoid space and completely surrounds the brain and your spinal cord. There is no intrinsic system of CSF circulation, but its movement is aided by pulsating blood vessels, respiration and changes in of their posture. Okay, so for the circulation there is no separate system is there for CSF. So what are all the agents or the helps the movement of your CSF means pulsation of blood vessels, that is according to your blood pressure variation, respiration, your respiration and changes of the posture of your head and body. Okay, so this will cause CSF to move. So CSF is secreted continuously at the rate of about 0.5 ml per minute, that is nearly 720 ml per day. So the amount around the brain and spinal cord remains fairly constant at about 120 ml. So nearly your brain and the spinal cord will contain about 120 ml of CSF, which means that absorption keeps pace with the secretion. Okay, so if the brain is enlarged, okay, that is the size is increased, maybe by due to hemorrhage or tumor or some other mechanism, so some compensation of it is made by reduction in the CSF, that 120 ml will be reduced due to increase in size of your brain. Okay, so hemorrhage means leakage of the blood. Next, when the volume of brain tissue is reduced, okay, such as degeneration or atrophy. Okay, so in condition, if the brain size is decreased due to degeneration, that is due to destruction of the cells due to age related or whatever the thing, or due to atrophy, that is shrinkage, the volume of CSF will be increased. Okay, so CSF, it is a clear slightly alkaline fluid with a specific gravity of 1.005. So it consists of what are all the materials that is present in your CSF are water, mineral salts, glucose, plasma proteins. So mainly albumin and globulin, creatinine, urea and some of the leukocytes will be present. Okay, so here I bolded the creatinine and urea because they are present in minor quantity, so they are the metabolic waste products. Okay, so what are all the functions of CSF means? It supports and protects the brain and your spinal cord. It will support and protects. Next, it maintains the uniform pressure around these structures. Okay, if the pressure is very too much, so it will cause damage or destruction of the cells, so that it will maintain the uniform pressure around the brain and your spinal cord. Next, it acts as a cushion and shock absorber between the brain and the cranial bones. Okay, so this will give a softy material, so that it will act as a shock absorber. Next, it keeps the brain and spinal cord moist, and there may be an interchange of substances between CSF and the nerve cells, such as nutrients and waste products. Okay, so this will act as a transport system where nutrients and waste products are transmitted. So these are all the functions of your CSF. Okay, so remaining we can see in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.